I have a couple of little statues in my yard. That's one of them. Back there, you see those kids? I have that in my yard, and they're holding a bowl, and inside that bowl I put glass beads where I got from somewhere. And they're blue glass beads. They're like aquarium stones or something like that, right? A little something something. That's not how I meant to say it. They're just blue glass aquarium stones. And I noticed they were disappearing. And I thought, maybe it came from the rains, and the rain fills up the little bowl. I'm gonna go get them. So, this is in my yard. See the dirt on it and everything? So I have it in my yard, and it has these stones in it. And it used to be full to brimming, so I thought, when the rain comes, it pushes some of the stones out and they're gone. But then I started to find the stones at the bottom of some of the trees in my yard, and I figured it out really quick. They're being taken away by chipmunks and squirrels. I don't think the birds can put them in their beaks because I just think they're too big. I don't know, maybe. But I see them at the bottoms of trees, like they either take them up and don't like them and throw them out again, or some they keep, some they don't. But yes, I think it's interesting that rodents are attracted to glass aquarium stones in my yard, because you can't eat them or anything. They just take them home and they like them. I guess they just like them. What does a chipmunk or a squirrel think like? I know they can be a real pain in the butt. People have been considering chipmunks a nuisance for the last several years in my area. I gotta clean all this dirt now. There you go, put it in the ashtray. All this dirt from my yard. So yeah, they're eating that. I mean, they're not eating it. They're taking it home. They like shiny things, which I guess is nothing new. I think I've seen videos like that too. Where's my lighter? I've seen videos like that too, where they like rodents and stuff will like take shiny things and keep them. Birds too, I think. It's a kind of bird that puts stuff in its nest. Look, it's a nest full of pocket watches. Whatever bird does that. I don't think it's quite like that. But yeah, it's like, so I put them back in the dish. I find them at the bottom of trees, and I'm glad I find them. I don't even mowing the lawn. I just put them in this little tiny bowl. You saw that. That's not big. That's not a big thing. I don't even know why I have. Somebody gave me that. I think it came in the. Somebody said if you clean a trunk out, you can keep all the junk, and I just put that in my yard. Now it's got stones in it. I don't know where the stones came from. Someplace else. But squirrels and chipmunks like them, or they don't like them. I just haven't found, like, they've thrown them out of the tree, or they couldn't get them up, or they dropped them or something. I want to see a chipmunk shoving one of those things in its mouth. I gave peas to the duck. This is my neighborhood report, because I live in the boondocks. So I'm sitting on the porch. I think I was smoking, and I look down, and there in the duck's food dish, I'd thrown some frozen peas. They're thawed out, but I put them in there for the ducks. The ducks had their fill, and then there's a chipmunk in there, and its face was huge. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I wanted to yell at it and tell it to, like, get out of there, stop eating wasting all the food I put in there for the ducks. I don't get chipmunk eggs. I don't want them. Okay, that's just turds. You don't make eggs. So I watched the chipmunk. I'm like, this is just like better than TV. This is actually happening. So I'm watching the chipmunk steal a whole, or like half a duck's feed bowl full of peas, and just stuffing it into its face, bigger and bigger and bigger. I would like to see a chipmunk stuffing its mouth with those aquarium stones. I know, that's lame. Hey, that's my neighborhood. And then there was some guy who lives acres over or whatever, and he had a dog, and everybody's complaining about his dog just going wherever it wants and tearing people's garbage cans up. And it was very reassuring, because I saw that my garbage cans were tore up by the garage, and I was like, oh man, is this like a bear thing again, or what's getting in there? It's just cats, because cats usually aren't going to be able to knock the garbage cans over. Nope, somebody's big dumb dog, they probably got it from a pet shop. I don't know where they got it from. It's a dog. It's the owner's fault, not the dog. The master must master his hound. I'm guessing it was a puppy. It's forgiven already, I don't care. It's not like a bitey dog. You know when you have a dog that's like a bitey dog? Or some people have a dog that does bite, but it's so small that they're like, yeah, he bites, you can't touch him or anything, and they don't do anything with the dog because like it can't do anything to anybody. You know, and it's old. It's a Lhasa Apso. I remember a dog like that somebody had. It was not a nice dog, but it didn't matter because it couldn't do anything. It was just old. Mean. That's the old neighborhood. That's the old neighborhood. That dog has died. It's amazing. I don't think this is too boring. There was this dog somebody had, and it got hit multiple times by a car. And it was about this big. It was totally a purse dog. Like you could just like, oh, you give me a hard time, you're not happy about this, you just pick it up. You could just like move it. And the dog would be like, yeah, and you weren't even hurting it. It'd just be mad. Alright, just tiny dog. And it got hit by a car multiple times. I don't know how it survived. And then I remember when it's old, like the whole one leg didn't do anything and it didn't matter. Like it still went, I don't know what it was looking for, but it went out and got lost, and they were like, the police were like, oh yeah, we have that dog. And then just went like to the police station to get the dog. The dog was at the police station. Somebody brought it there. This is out in the country, this isn't like the city or anything, and they take it to the pound. That dog's gotta be dead. There's no way that dog's alive. I wonder what this is something interesting for you because this is what other people do. What's the oldest recorded living pet dog? You know? Because I know all the different dogs have their different things that happen to them. Like dogs like Scooby-Doo and Marmaduke, when they get old, their asses fall apart. Like their back ends. And they have trouble with their back legs and stuff like that. Probably bladder. I never had one of those dogs, but I know that that's what happens to them. And then there's other dogs that have like sort of structural problems when they get older. Certain kinds of dogs have a problem with hair in their ears because of the crossbreeding, and you gotta take care of the hair in their ears and stuff like that. No, but aren't they beautiful? I have picked a dog that looks like me. It's just like old MGM cartoon. Shaggy and Scoob. They do suit each other. This is dumb. I know nobody wants to talk about this, but I do wonder. Does anybody own Scooby-Doo? Like, whose dog is that? Did they ruin it in a cartoon? Like, well, actually, that's Velma's dog, and blah, 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 blah. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought it was Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. Like, obviously, Scooby-Doo is Shaggy's dog, right? Like, I know Scooby-Doo's like his own weird anthropomorphic. He's an anthropomorphic. He's an anthropomorphic dog, and he's like sort of subhuman or something. I don't ever want to know the Scooby-Doo story. I don't want to find out that he was in a lab when he was a puppy or something. Nothing. Scooby-Doo, it was a joke. Scooby-Doo was a joke because every episode was the same thing. They just put it in syndication in the mornings before kids went to school, and they would eat stuff and say, Scooby-Doo's the best thing that happened today because now I'm going to school for the rest of the day. So just think about, I don't know, I guess Scooby-Doo, however it works, mentally. Scooby-Doo, there was nothing to it. The kids go somewhere, there's a mystery to solve. They solve the mystery. It's not really a monster. You can be relieved. It's for kids. But the whole time it's really spooky and there's scares and stuff, and the kids like that. And it was all handled appropriately, and everything was like purple and orange like this show. And by the end of the cartoon, you know, what was it, 20 minutes or something, 18 minutes. and in the intro. Who would have thought that'd still be here is my point. There's nothing to it. Like, that's it. That's all there's to Scooby-Doo. I think I overstated it. But it's still here. Same thing with the Ninja Turtles. Like, some things. Like, why? Like, Ninja Turtles. That's still here? Like, I bet if you go to the store now, you can buy Ninja Turtles toys for, you know, something. SpongeBob's still around? I don't know, it's weird the things that stay around. I said this before, I'll say it again, because we're just talking about whatever. It's like a ramble-sode now. The way to do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right, is you keep them short. You keep them small and vulnerable, so it looks like they're always going to get hurt. And you make them cuter, instead of giant menacing things that are bigger than humans. Remember that? That's the Michael Bay Turtles, where they're, you know, like, you could do anything with Ninja Turtles. Just make them small. They have to be smaller than everybody. And they're still, you know, like, the Beastie Boys of Turtles. Aren't the Ninja Turtles, like, have the personalities of the Beastie Boys or something? I don't know. But I'm telling you, from a marketing standpoint, small, vulnerable, cuter, and then still give them the voices of, like, you know, like Brooklyn people or whatever. It's an accent, a Bronx or whatever. It's an accent. Well, it used to be. I don't know. Future, Snowpiercer and all that. What's it called? Geriatrification? Where they take young people with money who behave like old people with money, and they're crotchety and they're irritable and they're no fun. Some old people are fun, some aren't. And that's geriatrification, and it happens to neighborhoods, and then they're no fun anymore, and everything's really expensive. And it doesn't matter because, you know, it just keeps fingers off of them people they don't want in their stores, or whatever that means. I don't know. It's the future, Marty. I was at somebody's house and I looked through their Entertainment Weekly magazine, and I saw that they had a review of A Brave New World. And then I saw a guy looking out a window, and I knew right away. I was like, that's John the Savage. I knew, just from, like, it was like iconic. Like, I had this old podcast. I still have it. Should I bring my book out with the eyeballs? Not today. Maybe another time. But if you see my old podcast, you know that my sidekick was a copy of that book with googly eyes on it, which I still have. Why would I get rid of that? It was a memento of like 5 years of my life, of busting my buns podcasting. So anyway, I saw that Entertainment Weekly, somebody made a new version of Brave New World, the famous Aldous Huxley story, novella, whatever you want to call it. And I thought, what does that mean in 2020? Or do they just keep it exactly as it is? Isn't that one of those ones you just wouldn't change? Like, don't change 1984, don't change Brave New World. No need to change the Plandopolis Megacities videos because they're brand new. There's like new commercials. Yeah, they're new. We're not even used to that. Everybody didn't see those yet. They don't know. You don't know? Oh, it's gonna be great. And everything outside that's gonna be like 1980s Red Letter Media, best of the worst 1980s sci-fi dystopia. You know, but we're living in it. And Gene Simmons will be your weird trans overlord if you live in that area of wherever, you know, he rules over. It's gonna be like True Blood. Remember the vampire show where different vampires were ruled over different districts and stuff? Like the guy in France, he's gonna have his territory, and then Gene Simmons will have like a part of California or something. You want to live in a good place, out in wine country, some place that's governed by Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. That's like where the good people live. Cool celebrities. Yeah. I mean, maybe it doesn't seem like anything. You're like, yeah, so what? Like rats steal rocks? I think it's interesting to me because I don't know, it's just something is interesting this year. I've had that bowl of stones out before. That's not a new thing. I've had it out before. But for whoever it is this year, like they like the stones. So it's either chipmunks or squirrels, because when I find them again, they're at the bottom of trees that are like way away from my little children holding a bowl of a leaf or whatever it is. I think they're holding a cabbage leaf or something. I used to have lawn ornaments that I don't want in my yard, because one was a Bigfoot and he was carrying lawn gnomes, but it looked like they were loving it. And I thought it was very funny, and somebody gave that to me. And then I thought, essentially, I don't like gnomes and all that Who's the guy? Rudolf Steiner in the Waldorf school. He had like a thing for gnomes. I don't like it. So I'm like, hey, nothing against gnomes, but no thanks. So then I also recognized that Bigfoot is just like the Beast. And I was like, yeah, it's just like the Beast carrying like his minions or something. So I was like, I'm not gonna put that in my yard. And then I had these really cool Yoda like lawn jockeys. I don't know how else to describe them. They were big clearance sale items that nobody wanted. And I'll probably wind up giving them away when I hear that somebody likes Star Wars at all. But they're big. And I was like, I don't want these two little Yod demon things or whatever it is in my yard. Yoda demon things or whatever in my yard. I don't want my yard decorated with the ghoulish stuff. So now I have tasteful things in my yard, like kids holding a bowl of glass. I have there's angels. Somebody gave me like a fairy or something, and I was like, well, it looks more like an angel than a fairy. That's not too demonic. And then I have beds with a lot of good things to eat. I have stevia plants, which I'm very happy about, that I've had for multiple years. Like I keep them inside over the winter even. Is this boring? I'm sorry. There's lo-fi chill jams. I bring my stevias, I put them out for the summer, and as soon as they know they won't die from frost, okay? Then I bring them out and they stay out and they get huge, and then I harvest the leaves because they're leaves of stevia. And I've saved them for years, and I thought they were gonna die on me. And then I separated them, and now I have like 5 stevias from what I thought would be a dead nun. I just got like root bound and started to separate or something. I don't know what happened. I don't know how stevias work, except that you bring them in for the winter and it works. Because I've done it for so many years, I don't remember. I've done it. I've had stevias that I bring in that have survived multiple winters for longer than my progeny had a burger farm where we just bought a bag full of McDonald's food and Burger King food, and we left it in the bag and didn't touch it. And then we just forgot about it, and then we remembered it, we'd check on it, or they'd show me, look Dad, and it just was like a bag, our burger experiment. We just got like one of whatever, a couple different things on the menu, like try to get one of everything or something, and we had them in 2 bags from 2 different places. And then grease just came out. The grease just absorbed out of the food into the paper and the plastic waxed paper and all that stuff. And then the receipts got funny, so we had to have a paper clip to it so we could tell how long we've been doing this for, because the receipts have the date on them. We did that for like 3.5 years, I think, until it had like little bugs in it, like those little mealy fly things, those little red things, and I was like, that's it, it's garbage now. But otherwise than that, it just got hardened, it dehydrated, and just got hard. That's all that happened, because before we threw it away, we looked at it. It just got hard. That's what happened to all the McDonald's food. Like after 3.5 years. It just dehydrated. It was just hard. So it's really gross. But I remember like people cleaning their cars, me too, or furniture, and you find like old food. You're like, looks like you could almost eat that. But you're not supposed to. But I know some people do. They eat like an M&M from the couch or something. Like, it's good, nothing's under here. And like, that's gross. Just buy M&Ms. Or just leave it there then, and if it gets rough, you know that there's an M. Even if it's just one. Be like those Hodiote and Doten days. Remember that? Fattening up your tapeworm. Do you remember this? It's not for you guys. It's old sketch comedy. You'll never remember. You guys don't know about the kids in the hall. kids in the hall. They were really funny. They were 5 guys that were hypocritical of everyone. So we would all dress up like one would be a man and one would be a woman, and they would talk to each other, and you would laugh at them, and you're like, that's just how people are. And you're like, yeah, but isn't it funny when one of them's like a dude pretending to be a woman? And you're like, it is. Why? I don't know, it's probably wrong. Let me see if I can start this incense. No, not without a lighter. So, I still think my Billy Madison meets Happy Gilmore and Grandma's Boy is a terrible idea, but it's mine. There's something else I was gonna say and I forget what it was, so now I'm just like, I got nothing. My incense stick broke. Incense to perfume the holes for the mighty. That's James Earl Jones said that. Do you think women really do go crazy if they've been with too many dudes? It like messes with their heads. Like one of them should have just kept the woman and made it work or something like that. I mean, I know it takes 2 to make a thing work, and if one doesn't want it to, you can't. There's nothing you can do. But it's weird. It's sad when I hear like the reality. Like every now and then I hear about it. I heard something recently. I'm like, why would she do those things? And you just hear something like tragic about a woman that's going around. Actually, I heard it twice recently. That's so sad. Where a woman's just going nuts. Just catching nuts. Like all over the place. Like, that's terrible. And the stuff is, I heard a bunch of stuff, right? I can't get into it. But it's true. And I wasn't like, oh, that's gossip. I was like, why? Because like there's only so many things you can do with a dick before it's just like it's over. Like you're just messing up, you know what I mean? Like you can take it to God and repent and, you know, and then sin no more. But it's like, what is wrong? It's like there's some kind of epidemic with young women where they're just crazy. They're like, well, I can just do anything I want, and they're just pushing buttons and swiping this way and that way, and like, I think I've got 5 minutes. I have an opening for like the next 5 minutes, and then somebody gets in there. It's terrible. What are they looking for? What are they looking for? It's so sad. Godless heathen. What happened to the hope chest? I'm gonna do some kind of show where I'm like, I'll just take my cedar chest or something. Here's my cedar chest, and I'm gonna show you guys on archaeological digs. This was a hope chest. Like in the 1950s and shit, a little girl would plan on getting married, so she'd fill it full of things like whatever it is they put in a hope chest. And then little boys had some kind of thing that was tools and stuff he would need for his life as a man. Because there's a thing like that. I think it starts with a G, but I forget what it's called. It's not your Family Gudunza or anything like that. But there's some kind of thing, like girls had a hope chest because it was like they're hoping to become a wife and a mother and would have all these things for life in it. And they started when they were a kid. It was like before they had The Secret or mind movies or self-programming. This was just like self-programming for like normal people for their children. Like, here, you're a boy, Billy, you'll get a tool chest. And for your sister Jennifer or whatever, or Shaniqua, let's just be fair about it. For your sister Shaniqua over here, she's getting a hope chest. So that she can grow up and become a mom, because it's the most important job in the world, because that's who kind of like raises the family, raises the kids and everything, and then the dad makes sure that that security nest is there. I know it's different now, the world has changed. But I don't know, I'm just saying, like, what? No hope chest, no hope? What does it mean? And then there's something that the boys had too that was like a tool chest for them. And stuff they would need as a man. And we get them thinking about shit like to put a shaving kit, maybe. And then like I got one of them for when I can shave. I'm like, Dad, I want to get my shaving kit out of my family Gudunza or whatever it was. And then, you know what I mean? Like there was something like this. I just forget what it's called. I'm gonna just look it up. Just like Google it as or don't, whatever browser you like, DuckGo or whatever. Look up or Bing. I don't know. What do you like? They're probably all bad. Okay. And just look up Boys Hope Chest or something, and find out what that was called. It's probably got a wiki. I think you should bring it back. And then they'll say, Hope Chest, why? Young women in this day shouldn't want to get married and have no hope of a future where that's allowed because of germs. You know, by them. And you'll say, no, that's why we have to fight for it now. That's why you have the Hope Chest, to have a hope that they'll allot territories, some kind of Hunger Games district or like Battle Royale or something, where we'll be allowed to live and rut like that, like Paul the Savage or his mother, you know? Because we're the old-fashioned people. We don't want to be like Lenina or Mustafa Rahman or any of those guys in Dance Dance Final Revolution. No Quigley, no Bert. I don't care. Who's your favorite character? Bernays, Salk, Quigley, Brzezinski. Gesundheit, bless you. You're welcome. Thank you. I don't want to play those games. I hate that game. I'm just a man without a pop culture. That's okay. You get old, you age out of it. I'm just a man. I just need a piece of land and a woman. It's just nice to do stuff for them and have them around and everything. What do you need? Okay, I can do that. To you, I can do that to you. Lay down. But I'm just kidding. But no, just simple. I don't mind a stay-at-home business. Okay, fine. What is that? I just want like a womb of nature. That's all. That's all. Just keep planting things around it. What do you want? More herbs and spices. You got it. You can go chop a log. First I'm gonna take a dump. And then I'm gonna chop a log for you, because you're my woman. Not you listening. I mean, like, this is my teacup missus. You think I forgot about her? I know about you don't think I know about future, Scott? I know I'm not supposed to know about the future. I know about him. I know. This is not his time yet, but I know about future, Scott. I'm hoping he'll change. I'm hoping he won't look like that. I'm trying to figure out what future Scott could look like. He's probably still going to need protection from nanites, because it's just cool to look at. The cosplay calypse. Look out. Everybody's going to have their weird little outfits for it. That's why it's called the cosplay calypse, because we're supposed to dress up. I don't know. What do you think a chipmunk? Like, how does a chipmunk or a squirrel work? Or a bird even, for that matter. But it's not birds doing it, it's chipmunks and squirrels. Why does a chipmunk or a squirrel like these little stones. I'm gonna go get one. Why? Oh, the incense smells good. For me on this end. Sorry, wait till you get the smell-o-vision. So there, it's got like dirt on it probably. But there, they like them. Why does a chipmunk or a squirrel want that? It's probably blurry now. There you go. Can you see that? Why do they care about that? It's like, you know, tiny. Well, I guess that's why they can pick it up. But I have big ones. I have like bigger stones that are more like that. Like that. I don't know. This is dumb. It's lame. I'm trying to tell you. There's little stones like this that's manageable. And there's big stones. There's glass ones. They took them too. Those are at the bottom of trees. They couldn't get them up. They tried. Why do they like them? Or is this something practical, like because they're made of glass and they're like that one wasn't a good example, but they're different stones I have, so some of them are luminescent. Do they reflect light or heat or something? Maybe that's why they have them. They're like, oh, to keep us warm when we get in the stones and the stones get warm. I don't know. I just think it would be cold glass. It would give you like squirrel or chipmunk hemorrhoids. But what are they thinking? Like, why do they like them? We know that there's animals, like they have the pack rat that takes things and just likes them. Like, why? That's weird, right? Like, why do they like those? Why do they like our things? And I feel like I should wash my hands from touching that dirty stone. I'm smoking a cigar. So this is the Lo-Fi Chill Jam. Sometimes there's gonna be pauses. There's gonna be spaces because it's not like I just sat down. I'm like, I want to do a podcast. What can I talk about? Well, I brought that in here. That's something. And I thought, well, I wanted to play with a pen light or props or something. I feel like I'm more good at making sets and stuff. And I just have to like, and finding sets and stuff. I think I want to direct. I think I'm better at that than actually having stuff to talk about sometimes. Like I just want cool sets. Like I have a bunch of cool sets and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you in front of them. I have some cool like Blade Runner sets. Yeah. That would be fun to mess with those. But I'm like, what am I going to talk about? I guess I could do a re-review of Blade Runner. I feel like I did everything. You don't know this maybe. Maybe you're new. But I had this old podcast. And I did everything and I said everything. So now, like, I could do everything I did already, like an entirely in a different way. Which would be more interesting for me. But I'm like, I did that already. Like I already talked about, I used to talk about Blade Runner all the time. Not because I'm a huge fan of it, because I don't want to live in it. Because I don't think it's cool to live there. And I'm not really a big fan of Ridley Scott, even though he's an amazing director. Like he really is like one of the best. But why does he want to make those movies? Because I don't like them. People like Woody Allen. I've seen a couple of his things, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care what this guy thinks. So I don't watch that guy. You know what I mean? Like people are into different like, you gotta watch this director or this person, and like I don't like Albert Brooks. I don't watch that guy. I know it doesn't matter anymore. In the future, those guys they're erased. They don't exist. Nobody's gonna care about those guys. I know it's sad. Hey, there's lots of stuff I like that nobody's gonna care about anymore. It's just nobody cares. Those things are old. It's like the Toonerville trolley. Toonerville trolley. Everybody wanted to have one. They were hard to get. And then when you grew up, you could get one. And then they were worth a lot of money. And then everybody that wanted a Toonerville trolley died. And now the Toonerville trolley is probably worth something at all. But it's not the same when like all the people who wanted the thing die out and nobody cares what it is because you don't even know what a Toonerville trolley is. Or like, look, I have a little celluloid figure of George McManus from Bringing Up Father. You know? Or, I mean, Bringing Up Father by George McManus. Or whatever. It's an old comic strip. I have a thing like I have that. I have a little figure. I thought it was Flip from Little Nemo and Slumberland. And somebody said, no, it's from, I think, Bringing Up Father or something. I'm not sure. I know. What is he talking about? He's losing us. I'm just talking about stuff that never mattered. Like, it's the detritus of our lives. Like, I used to read this comic strip in a newspaper. I remember I had an apartment, and we peeled up the shitty carpet to get rid of it because it was gross. And underneath it was newspapers, and the newspapers were from 1942. And there was pennies and shit all over there. But a lot of the newspapers that were on the floor were Sunday comic strips. So you know I had to save them, and they're disgusting and everything. But they were in good condition. They just had a carpet on top of them. So I saved them. And it was like, you know, do you know what a newspaper is? Well, they fold into 4 pieces, and when you open them, boom, it's a newspaper and they're big. They used to give, in the newspaper, used to give a whole comic strip, 1 whole page. It was a cool thing. I'm like, why did that ever go away? Like, people would, especially now, like, people don't read the news. If you wanted to save the newspaper industry, which I don't know that they do, you would just print, like, full-color funnies and pay guys to do that every day or something and syndicate that. Just put that in, and people would buy it just for the full-page funny strips every day in full color. Because I think the comic strips now, what's left of the newspaper comics, I think they're in color every day of the week. I think they're in full color daily. I mean, you know, daily, I think. Which was never a thing my entire lifetime. Only Sunday did you get the comics. This is such a stupid episode. This is only on Sunday did you get the full color comics. And they were worth reading. There was neat stuff in them, and sometimes like, whoa, they gave this strip like whole half a page. It was kind of cool. But usually it was like vapid and about nothing because it had to be able to be in a newspaper, so that was always kind of lame. Everything was. But that's what we had. Now, newspapers are dead and they're over. People don't read comic books anymore. That's probably over by now. And if it isn't, it will be soon. Put full page daily, put the news out there, tell them whatever slop you want to tell them, and put full page Sunday funnies in 7 days a week. You know, whatever somebody can manage half a page or something. Probably one guy or his studio, him and an assistant, probably used to do it all by themselves for Sunday and into the color separations or whatever. There's so much stuff that people grew up with that was popular that, you know, before you or I were born, or maybe before our parents were born, and nobody cares about it anymore. Like Moon Mullins or Goop McGurp or some of these stupid characters. Moon Mullins actually was a character. And nobody cares about that anymore. And then you get old and you recognize, like, there's all those things I remember. And I'm like, yeah, nobody cares about those things anymore. They don't know who those people are. Like Steve and Edie are so long dead. How can you reference them to mean anything? It doesn't mean anything anymore. Does that mean that Steve and Edie's lives were meaningless? No. How could I say that? Well, I guess because God was watching, so you just have to think about that. Like, that God sees everything you do, so just try and be a good person. Forget about Santa Claus. That's dumb. Stop touching it. God knows you did that. Santa Claus? Oh, you know I don't like that guy. My brother Bill. You know about my brother Bill, right? Holiday Bill. Yeah, I don't like Santa Claus. None of that. No way, not for me. None of my progeny. I think I'm done with this. This is still good yet, but I'm like, yeah, I had enough. You gotta know when. I need a drink. What are you doing? What are you doing when you listen to this? I mean, if you're this far in, you're still listening to me, leave a comment. Or just make an anonymous thing just for commenting. that doesn't have to be associated with whatever it is that, you know, that you want to leave comments on my channel. Create your other channel and come over here and say what you're doing, and if it's disgusting, I don't want to hear about it. I was washing dishes. I was doing my parents' taxes. What were you doing? I was helping somebody with the computer thing over the phone and listening to you, because I was going to wait for them to be done and then tell them what to do and walk them through it, whatever. I know, I've had people walk me through a thing on the phone. Okay, I did that, now what? Okay, then do this thing. Okay, I did that, it's not working. Okay, now it's working. I had to look underneath, there's a window underneath my window. Okay. Cool, yes, now I can download pornography. Download? Now I am the download of pornography. Back, 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 back. A new Major Laser villain. Oh no, Major Laser, stop it. Nobody's doing anything, you're all staying home. Eating corn products and masturbating. We have to get them, Penny. We have to get everybody out of the house. We have to shut down plunt.net. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's over. I don't know. What do you think? I've said this before, I'll say it again though. I definitely want to hear about like people falling in love. You know, when you can't, you know, like in weird times. Like now. I said I'm champion of love. I've always got to be, you know, I want that to win. Because without love, I don't know what kind of planet we are. It's like a hugely important thing. Like if we don't have love in the way that we think about the thing that love does to us and the way we think about other people, and we're like, you know, it transcends race, creed, or color, and you're like, nah, but that's somebody. That's, you know, that matters. People fall in love. That needs to not stop, even if they try and make it difficult. Yeah, I don't know. I keep saying, yeah, I don't know. I guess I mean I don't know what to talk about next. I didn't plan on this one, you know. I gotta plant more sunflower seeds. I've got more room, and I'm like, just throw them in there and just do them. They gotta be tricky with sunflower seeds when I plant them, because everything wants to eat them. As soon as there's sprouts, again, chipmunks or squirrels, whatever can get at them, will chew them up. So, and the same thing with like anything that has a blossom, like zucchini or things that have yellow flowers on them and stuff like that. Sometimes groundhogs or whatever wants to eat them. So I gotta keep them protected until it's like safe. And then, when they're safe, I can get them in the ground. But it's really easy. Sunflowers are so easy to sprout. I used to work in a place where I did that. Making the sunflower seed sprouts and wheatgrass and all that stuff. Trying to grow weird spidery veggies inside under grow lights. And they get all weird, and I'm like, they're gonna die when they go outside. And then they did. And then they sent me to the local greenhouse, or 3, to just pick up all the things. I'm like, that's better, because these stupid lights are just, I don't know, did you ever try, they made sick plants. They didn't have the setup. It's a job I had. And then in the winter, because the beds were so deep, they had stuff still alive, producing fruit when there was snow. Did you think that was possible? It's true. Sepp Holzer does it too. He had lemons growing in Austria on an alpine slope with snow on the rocks in the winter and snow. He's on an alpine slope and he has lemons with producing fruit in the winter in the snow. That's nuts. That's all possible. So maybe that lends some credence to my theory that maybe rodents are taking my glass statue beads, or whatever the hell you call them, because it helps keep their little rat's nest warm. Could be. Because of the thing I just said before. I know that you can climb into like straw or hay. Like if you there's a bunch of it, you can try and climb inside there and stay warm from freezing, because once you're inside, like your body heats that up and it keeps you warm inside there. And you can, it's like the old cliche of like, I'm on the run and I'm gonna go hide in a barn, and then go hide in a pile of hay, because it would keep you warm. Do people know that anymore? I don't know. Is that some way to save yourself inside Animal Crossing? Yeah, Animal Crossing. You go out foraging. He's like, oh look, here's a pile of hay. Do you know to climb inside that to stay warm? Things are so different already. Like, the more I hear stuff from people, I'm like, what? I'm out of touch. I didn't recognize that I was. It's weird to say it, especially in an episode, but I'm like, yeah, people say stuff and I'm like, that sounds dumb. You know, like the way that people behave, and you have to cater to people now. I'm like, I know it affected everybody, but that's what happens. Everybody grows old, has kids, the kids grow up. That's the new world. You gotta be brave. And I feel like one of those characters in a movie. Did you ever see Soylent Green? Soylent Green stars Charlton Heston, and Charlton Heston has a friend. And Charlton Heston's friend spends a lot of future money because he doesn't want to eat the Soylent. It's made of people. Spoiler alert. Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin it for you. Anyway, Charlton Heston's friend, it's an old man, and he's like, I just want to have a salad. I just want like an actual piece of lettuce, because everybody eats this like people slop, which is the Soylent. So it's a big deal to eat lettuce. And Charlton Heston looks at the old man eating lettuce and it's like, what does this all mean? I feel like the guy who just wants to eat the piece of lettuce. Like, I'm watching everything change. I was old enough to remember being an adult before the internet. I remember the internet. I remember it coming. Computer critters. What is that? On ABC. Computers, internet. What are you talking about? The thing with the modem? Oh yeah, I got a buddy that's all into that stuff. He's got a Tandy and he does all these crazy things. Okay, I think I know what that is. And then it's just like, look, here we are now. Everybody's got a picture phone. Tracker phone thing. It's insane. It tells you the weather. I mean, I grew up in a life where there was payphones all over the place. To now they're not. Payphones all over the place, or any place maybe. And everybody says don't go anywhere without a phone, because you might, have to have a phone. What if you need a phone? You have one, because you can have a phone anywhere. And then, like there'll be things you see on TV where somebody had a phone and saved their life or whatever. But then it swings the other way, like tragic things, or like here's somebody's last moments before they fell off a precipice trying to take a selfie. Because like a bunch of those apparently. Imagine being young and beautiful and that is the stupid way that you die. Like, look at, there's our daughter, and like, oh my god, that's terrible. What happened to Tiffany? And she's like, she was taking a selfie on the edge of a rock and she fell over the cliff to a canyon below. Closed casket. It's a long fall. I mean, it's terrible. But there's a bunch of stuff like that all over the world, probably. People that died. Never mind. Tragic porn deaths. I don't know. There might be. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Don't leave comments about that. I don't really want to know what you're doing either. It could probably only be disgusting. I'm just joking. I don't know what to tell you. Be good. Don't try and get good people to lower themselves to do base things. I always think it's weird when they say, people say, oh, that's base, like it's cool. I'm like, that's not cool. Based means like dumb and lowly and stupid. Like, it's like in the movies, like the snotty rich guy would say, oh, I have no interest in what you need, whatever you say or whatever you need. You're common and base, and I'm above it. And they like throw their glove over his shoulder or something like that. I'm like, pish posh, we're out of here. And then they leave on a horse or something. I don't know if they make those kind of movies anymore. Are they done with westerns? Or are they going to start rewriting what a western is? I've said it before, and again, I keep forgetting I did podcasting for years. You never heard of this before, but I've been saying it for years, like, you know, like the cliches in all kinds of movies and stuff, and one of them is the western cliche, where you don't think about it, but that woman in the town, that's the prostitute. But it's like, a lot of times it's like the main woman. It's like, yeah, she lives by herself and it's just all dudes. And it's like, yeah, like that's what she is. I mean, sometimes it's very direct. And that's like the prize of the movies for like Clint Eastwood to get the prostitute or something. I mean, I don't know, is it? I've seen too many Clint Eastwood. I've probably seen them all. I don't mean like I sought them out. I mean like there's a lot of Clint Eastwood westerns in color. You can see they put some kind of squash on, like, we'll let you have The Rock, but that's it. We're not really gonna give you any like action alpha male type dudes. Like, we're done with that. Like, that's over now. What will be in its stead? I don't know. Whatever they give you, they're gonna give you stuff. It's probably gonna be terrible, and nobody will like it. It's okay. It's just to make young people go crazy, to help reshape, to reset or whatever. Can I do rings? I do smoke rings. I think I could kind of do them. I don't know. Think about it. I said I was done. I'm like, no, I want to smoke it some more. Don't worry, I've got actual, like, content. I made things, and I'm like, I made a thing to watch. This one's just hanging out. This one's just like a podcast. I haven't done one like this in a... I've done a couple of them, but not as much as I used to. So we're just like, I don't know, I heard Google Hangouts was back today. I could use it again. That might be fun, to interact with people immediately. Is Google Hangouts as easy as it was to use? I figured out the new YouTube uploader. That's easy enough. I used to always click to use the old one just for as long as I could, and they took it away, and I'm like, I don't even care. I'll use a new one. YouTube stinks. I don't watch anything. Somebody gave me their, they were nice enough to give me their Netflix data so I could use it, so I could watch movies on their Netflix. So I did. I signed in and it worked. And I looked at everything they had to offer, and I thought, geez, like, I don't want to watch. I didn't watch anything, like not one single thing. And it wasn't for nervousness, because, you know, even somebody let me use it, and I was afraid to use it. There was nothing I wanted to see. And there was a couple of things I thought about clicking on, and then I was like, no, I had seen them already. Like things I thought that I wanted to watch. I'm like, no, I did see this already, so I didn't watch it. So it's really nice to have it, but I don't review like every little thing that comes out like I used to. Like what's a big thing everybody's talking about? I'll review it and say what I think it's actually about. And then I don't know. I don't do that anymore. I said I'm out of touch. People talk about movies and stars and music people. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Every now and then they'll mention like some person I've heard of that's like an old famous celebrity. I'm like, they're still around? They're like, yep. She's still banging on her box. Oh, that's gross. And I'm like, yep. Everybody thinks it's great. I'm like, it's terrible. What happens with the dignity that comes with aging? Well, are you supposed to be like a hot old lady? I mean, some people can be beautiful, like, wow, that's a beautiful old woman. Or some, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know if I can think of any of them. But, I mean, if it's your wife, maybe, then it's a beautiful old woman. But I don't know if we're supposed to think about, there's different stages of life. I don't know if we're supposed to think about that. You know, when two people are married to each other and they've lived the journey of life together, you and that same person, that's great to be old and whatever you do in your bedroom. Well, I don't know what that is. That's the magic of your private lives. We're not supposed to know. I'm sure it's great. And if not, they have products to lube it up. But we want to do those things when you get old. Do you really need to get a blowjob when you're 80 years old? Like, really? I don't think so. Sorry. I don't think so. You should be glad to be here when you're 80. If you're in a condition to remember what that even is. I don't know, it's hard to say. With, like, I'm old now, but people are younger now, and they're getting older than me. Maybe that was their job. You're like, what are you talking about? Like, I was a porn person on Pornhub. That's all they did was like blow dudes on a camera, like, you know, like both their neighbors, and then like other. No, it's for my cam show. Okay, I guess so. Terrible for relationships. But she's trying to buy the house. Okay, I'm just getting gross now. I don't know if that's your special gal. I get so depressed. I hear like women are just being honest, and they talk about their number of dudes, and I'm like, how? Like you just fuck everybody, keep moving until you hit 35? What? So sad. Like, what do they what stuff do girls watch that puts those ideas in their head that's their choices they want to make? It's so weird to me. It's like, why? You're supposed to pair up with somebody and build a lifetime. That's how it is. I used to do whole episodes on this where I talked about how people are happy and how people can never be happy, and they can live lives that'll make them go crazy if you don't just figure out some basic things about being alive, about being men or women, or confused about that, or having alternative ideas about what you could be. There's basics. At least before surgery. Some things will always be the same, even after surgery. Even if they take parts of you out. Or off. I don't know. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you had fun. I was like, oh, I'll just keep talking to you until it goes out. We're almost at an hour. So I'll just keep talking until the hour's up. I don't know, so what are you doing? Listen to music? Do you like my background jams? What do you think about that? I like to do a lot of layers. I miss my birds and my spring peepers. I kind of have them in real life, but it's not really time for spring peepers now. Now it's more like bullfrogs and weird things. Are like, that's clearly a frog, but I don't know what kind. And they make different noises. It sounds like Dagobah, the place where Yoda stirs pots of fair trade chocolate. Or is it rough trade chocolate? I forget. Yeah. Do you know that Tom's of Finland designed the label for Yoda's Dagobah chocolates? It's true. It's organic, or is it orgasmic? I don't know. They're not sponsored.